Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the second episode of the Whiskey Dick podcast. My name's Matt, and today I'm excited to try a new rye whiskey that I've never tried before, and to tell you guys what I think about it. Today we have Sagamore Double Oak Rye. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. I'm very excited to try it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open the bottle, pour a glass, and I'll be sipping it while I go over some history about Sagamore and Maryland distilleries. So a little bit about Sagamore. It was founded in 2013 by Kevin Plank. If you don't know who Kevin Plank is, he's a local CEO and business owner, entrepreneur around Baltimore. He started Under Armour. I think he's still the CEO of Under Armour Sports Apparel and some other local businesses. So he founded Sagamore Distillery in 2013. And in 2015, they decided to build their distillery. So construction went on from 2015 to 2017. Man, that's good. So a little bit about Sagamore. So it is just south, on the south end of the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. Right on the banks of the Patapsco River. They started distilling once their distillery was built in 2017. Previous to that, they've been buying MGP. MGP is a distiller in Indiana, very widely known for producing great whiskey. A lot of distilleries use them to produce their whiskey, and then they bottle it. So Sagamore, while they're building their distillery and aging their current rye whiskeys that they're distilling, instead of just sitting there and waiting, they decided to reach out to MGP, concoct a recipe, which they use two different mash bills. They use one that's a high rye content mash bill and one that's a low content mash bill. Mix them together to get the flavor profile they're looking for. MGP barrels it and then ships that barrel to Maryland, where Sagamore actually bottles it themselves. They proof it down using the local spring water that's from Sagamore Farms. Sagamore swears by it. That's where they get their flavor from. It's the same spring water that they give their thoroughbred horses. So that they say that's the key to their success. The interesting thing is going to be actually this year, 2021. So it takes typically 4 to 5 years for all of their ryes to age. So they started distilling in Baltimore in 2017. So 2021, towards the end of 2021, they should actually be distributing the product that they've been distilling in Baltimore for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see what the flavor changes from the MGP distilled whiskey to their very own distilled whiskey in Baltimore. Now I know Maryland isn't typically what you think of when you think of a whiskey distillery, but previous to Prohibition era, Maryland was actually a hub for rye whiskey. There were 44 distilleries in Maryland, 13 of them being in Baltimore. Obviously, Prohibition happened. That knocked out a lot of distilling in Maryland. A lot never recovered. And the ones that did recover, shortly after America entered into World War II, those distilleries were switched over from producing whiskey to producing ethanol for the cause. The cost of that machinery switch over. A lot of them never switched back to making whiskey. So there was a huge downturn in Maryland whiskey production, but it's starting to pick back up. There's distilleries around Maryland starting to pop up again. So, and Sagamore has a massive distillery in Baltimore. So just kind of starting to get into this thing. I mean, it's got a very mellow smell to it. It's got some baking spice right up front, some dried orange peel or orange zest, a little bit of cinnamon, and that's really it. There's not too much to the nose here. It smells absolutely delicious, though. A lot of baking spice. So the palate, it's got some caramel, a very little bit of oak, definitely some fruitiness, a lot of nuttiness, and a little bit of chocolate on the back end. Maybe some hazelnut and chocolate. It kind of tastes like Nutella, like the spread Nutella. Man, that is good. That is a great sipper. Great dessert whiskey. If you're in the mood you just ate dinner, you're looking to sit on the couch, kick the feet up, binge watch your next Netflix show. I mean, this is a bottle to grab, pour a glass, sit back, relax. Man, that's good. So this is actually at 96.6 proof or 48.3% alcohol by volume. It's much heavier proof than the regular rye, which is at 83%. 83 proof, I think. So it's a good proof. The color is actually absolutely beautiful. Looks like caramel amber. They typically age this for 4 to 5 years. This is a double oak. So typically when a lot of people think of double oak, they're thinking of double the oak flavor, double that charred flavor, that harsh flavor. And this is actually the complete opposite. This is smooth, mellow, caramel, chocolate, hazelnut, fruity, a little bit of oak, but really not anything aggressive. And the reason that is so they age this in a regular bourbon barrel like they do their regular rye. And then once it's actually aged, they take it out of that barrel and they put it into a second barrel. And that second barrel is just lightly toasted. It's not heavily charred like they do with a lot of bourbon barrels. So that light toast just pulls out all the sweet notes out of that oak barrel. So you get a lot of that chocolate, the fruit, the caramel, all those delicious desserty flavors. And this one delivers heavy on all those. I mean, it's a great mouthfeel, very mellow. The finish lasts for a while. You get that sweet finish that just kind of rides off. It's really good. I'm greatly very happy with this. Very happy. I got a lot of suggestions online to try this. Thank you all for your suggestions. Well worth it. Very happy with this. As always, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below. You can always follow me on Instagram my handle is @thewhiskeydick. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm always on there, so I will reply. Also, if you have any suggestions or want to see any other bottles for me to review, please leave them down below. I'm going to start doing some taste testing, some blind taste testing, some comparison videos where we're going to try a couple different whiskeys and compare them with each other. So stay tuned for those. And until then, cheers.